Hello and welcome to the 7th plenary of the GSA 4G 5G Fixed Wireless Access Forum. This event is sponsored by Pointing and by Start. The event is being recorded. Immediately following this live event, you will receive an email with a link to the on-demand replay. Similarly, you can download the presentation at any point during this event by moving your cursor over the slides and clicking the download button. There will be time for questions at the end following our panel discussions and data presentations. So please do submit any questions you have using the questions function on the right-hand side, and we will use as many of them as we can do during the event. Those that we don't get to answer, we'll try to answer directly via email afterwards. But with the housekeeping done, I'll turn straight over to Julian to take us through the agenda. Julian.
Thanks a lot, Richard. So a warm welcome to everyone. It is already our 7th webinar since the forum was created. The previous one was held in June. I'm Julien Grivola, and I'm currently the chair of the GSA 4G 5G Fixed Wireless Access Forum. I'm also the European Director for Wireless Industry Development at Huawei. As you can see on the slide, we will provide you today with insights about the best practices around fixed wireless access and some statistics about how the market is developing. So in the first session, I will give a brief overview on where we are with the Fixed Wireless Access Forum in terms of our activities as we are getting closer to the end of the year. In the next session, we will hear from the GSA research team from Vaishali and Jordan about the latest report they have published with lots of statistics around fixed wireless access globally. And in the session number 3, we will hear from Dito in the Philippines. We will welcome Vincent to explain the fixed wireless access RedCap service launch that they have done recently. Then we will have Peter from Pointing to learn more about the role of antennas in the fixed wireless access industry. This session will be moderated by John, the vice chair of the forum. And we will have questions. We will take questions during this session, and then John will close the event. I would like to start by reminding to everyone what the GSA really is. So the GSA is the leading industry supplier association from the mobile industry, representing the 3GPP ecosystem. The association is promoting the technology roadmap, trying to also have a good condition from a spectrum perspective, for example, and we are doing this since 1998. The association is producing research, white papers, and they have also set up a range of special industry groups. One of the first one was the Spectrum Industry Group, and in fact, the GSA Fixed Wireless Access Forum is one of these industry-focusing groups. Actually, today there are more than 40,000 people registered, and they are getting access to the industry reports that are available for free if you register on the GSA website. You can also access GAMBoD, which is a huge database looking at both devices and network deployments globally. In the forum, we have now 57 members. As always, it is representing the whole ecosystem from the 3GPP-based fixed wireless access industry perspective. The CPE vendors are representing the lion's share of the ecosystem here and of our members, with 42 companies having CPE activities among our 57 members. We all agreed some years ago to really, around some objectives looking at promoting the fixed wireless access industry. At the time, it was not as known or as famous as it is today. Today, fixed wireless access is clearly a hot topic in the industry. So if we look back to the end of 2020 when we set up the organization, lots of progress have been made. Nevertheless, we continue to provide deep information about the market evolution from both the service provider perspective and the CPE ecosystem perspective. In 2024, we have conducted lots of activities. Here is a quick review. I think this slide is also important because all the content we are producing can be accessed on the GSA Fixed Wireless Access Forum webpage or on the GSA website. Even events like today, as Richard mentioned, we have this event is recorded, so you can have access to all the replays on demand. One of our most important deliverables is the Fixed Wireless Access CPE market survey. This is allowing us really to share very detailed information based on the input received from our a selection of CPE vendors. Actually, this year, 30 CPE vendors participated to the study, which enables us over the years to really see trends in the industry and provide insight about how well the industry is developing in terms of shipments, etc. But also, we are giving lots of details in terms of what kind of devices, what form factors, what are the capabilities of those devices, in which geographies they are shipped. And we also try to look at forward-looking trends like, for example, 5G RedCap, which will be mentioned today for fixed wireless access. So you can access all those information free of charge on the GSA website. We are also promoting, as I said, the CPE ecosystem, and not just the CPE actually, but also chipset, module vendors, all the products that are really required beyond the infrastructure to provide a very good quality fixed wireless access service. And so far today, we have more than 200 products displayed. You can make some search. You can look at what is supporting, for example, 5G standalone, what kind of frequency bands are supporting. So it's a very interesting tool, and actually it is heavily used by people. And then that would be my last slide. As we have said, we have seen a huge momentum, and we keep seeing a huge momentum behind 5G fixed wireless access in particular. As I was mentioning already in previous webinars, the US is, of course, one of the most famous examples. And there are lots of news around how well fixed wireless access is developing in the US. Recently, both T-Mobile and Verizon, they decided to just double their target objectives in terms of users they are targeting to have by 2028. This is also happening in developing economies. We all know about Airtel and Jio in India. They have a very, very significant and important targets. This is also developing well in Europe. There are more than 70 networks up and running. We will hear more about those statistics with the GSA research team later on. However, as always, as you can see on the top right side of the slide, there are still 2.6 billion people who are not connected yet. So we definitely encourage the industry to consider fixed wireless access, 4G and 5G, to really try to address these digital divide issues. There is still much to be done. I think, as we have seen in many economies, fixed wireless access has a huge range of benefits that can be leveraged by those countries. This is a very useful broadband technology in their toolbox. It should be promoted, just like we are seeing some funding for fiber in some areas. I mean, fixed wireless access definitely should also be supported in the same way to allow everyone to get a reliable high-speed broadband connectivity solution as soon as possible. Now, as always, this webinar is possible because we have some sponsors. So this time, this is Pointing and Start USA, who are sponsoring our event. We will now play some short videos to introduce our sponsors. Please, Richard.
Hi there, I'm Susanna Suarez, Director of Product at Start USA, and I'm excited to introduce you to our company and the exciting work we're doing. Since our establishment in 2015, Start USA has grown into a premier global provider of advanced hardware and software solutions. We're proud to offer a wide range of innovative products that cater to both consumers and businesses around the world. Our product portfolio is designed to meet the growing demand for fast, reliable, and secure connections. From cutting-edge 4G and 5G CPEs to mobile hotspots, smartphones, tablets, and more. We provide comprehensive solutions that ensure seamless connectivity for every need. As a company, we specialize in the design and development of advanced 4G and 5G technologies, delivering reliable and secure end-to-end services to our customers and partners. At Start USA, we're committed to innovation and excellence in everything we do, and I am proud to lead our product team to bring you the best connected solutions. Together, we're shaping the future of connectivity. To stay up to date with all of our latest products and innovations, be sure to visit our newsroom or follow us on LinkedIn. Let's shape the future of connectivity together.
We have been making wireless happen for as long as we can remember, and we always will. We are specialists who love our work, experts in our field. We take great pride in what we make and what it means to people. We hone our skills, refine our craft, and master the art of engineering. We are passionate about innovation and creating the best product that we can deliver. We forge, we learn, we build, and we grow beyond. It's more than just our vision and mission. It's our passion. We are pointing, and we will take you beyond a connected life.
Thank you, Richard. So once again, many thanks to Pointing and Start for sponsoring the webinar. I would like now to hand over to Vaishali and Jordan. So the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Julian. A great introduction there. So I'll just move over to our slides. So if you just go to the introduction. So yeah, good morning, everybody. I'm Jordan Cox, a member of the GSA research team here at the GSA. And I am responsible for coordinating a number of the research projects the GSA undertakes, alongside populating our online database, GAMBoD. So this presentation is based on a number of different reports published by the GSA across the course of 2024, such as our Fixed Wireless Access Survey that Julian has already alluded to, the Fixed Wireless Access Report, the 5G RedCap report, and the 5G Devices report, among others. And we will be looking more specifically at the current market snapshot for LTE and 5G fixed wireless access globally. Now, these reports draw on both public and non-public information collected by the GSA research team and through our Fixed Wireless Access Survey respondents. And within this presentation, we will examine the current status of fixed wireless access globally, including the availability of networks, devices, and technology. We will compare LTE and 5G fixed wireless access offerings, including information on tariff structures, portability, speeds, fixed wireless access devices, and even 5G RedCap. And so with that, I'll hand over to my colleague, Vaishali, to run through the status of fixed wireless access globally.
Before we dive right into the report, it would be good to provide some context of the status of fixed wireless on a global scale. For anyone unfamiliar, fixed wireless access can be used to deliver broadband to both residential and business premises, particularly in areas that are underserviced by more traditional broadband options, like fibre, or that have a greater rural population. Government initiatives to help connect the unconnected, the replacement of DSL, and the increased amount of work, school from home are significant trends accelerating its rollout. Fixed wireless is starting to be considered as a main broadband solution, as evidenced by the growth in both fixed wireless services and consumer premises equipment between November 2023 and November of this year. This data can be accessed from our GAMBoD database. During this period, the number of CPE devices has grown by a modest 2%, from 1,186 to 1,214, which could be due to a more resilient supply chain and new models of both 4G and 5G devices available in the market. Similarly, the number of fixed wireless access services by operators has experienced a strong growth of 19%, from 587 to 699. This can be attributed to the fact that a growing number of operators are leveraging their 4G and 5G assets to offer this additional service to both consumers and businesses. As of November 2024, there are 564 unique operators investing in either LTE or 5G fixed wireless services across 188 countries and territories. Over 88% of these operators have launched a commercial service in 176 countries and territories. Interestingly, the majority of LTE fixed services launched are in Europe with 146 services, followed by the Middle East and Africa with 144 services, and Asia Pacific with 83 LTE fixed wireless services. This could be because these are markets which are highly concentrated. The top 3 regions are the same for 5G fixed wireless access services launched this year, but to a lesser extent. Europe has 96 services launched ahead of the Middle East and Africa with 42 services, and Asia Pacific with 35 services. Let's now look at 5G fixed wireless. Overall, we can see that there are currently 618 operators investing in 5G networks globally across 184 countries. Of these, 343 operators have launched or soft-launched one or more 5G services in 126 countries. Diving in further, we can see that 210 of these operators have also invested in 5G fixed wireless services, and 162 of these operators have launched 3GPP compliant 5G fixed wireless services, an increase of 6% from June of this year. Overall, 5G fixed wireless accounts for just under half of all 5G launch services, implying that this is a continued driver of 5G network investment and monetization. Comparing the number of operators allows us to see how it differs, not only by technology, but also by region. Although the Middle East and Africa account for the majority of LTE fixed wireless operators, with 149 providers, Europe follows closely behind with 146 operators. Trailing behind is Asia Pacific with 75 operators, North America with 59, and Latin America with 57. Conversely, Europe leads in 5G fixed service operators, totaling 96 providers. The Middle East and Africa is second, with 46 operators, preceded by Asia Pacific with 32 operators, Latin America with 20, and North America with only 17 5G fixed wireless operators. This difference could be explained by the different adoption curves of 5G networks, particularly for the Middle East and Africa, which is still building out 5G networks in many countries. This year, 223 operators were discovered using volume-based tariffs for their LTE fixed wireless service, compared to just 43 of operators for their 5G fixed wireless service, thus showcasing their popularity. In comparison to this time last year, the number of operators using a volume tariff model for 5G grew by 13%, while the number of operators using the same model for LTE fell by 2%. Speed-based tariffs are growing as evidenced by the growth in the number of operators. Those using the speed-based tariff for LTE fixed services grew by 12% from last year, now standing at 93 operators. The number of operators using a speed-based model for their 5G fixed wireless access services also grew 16% from November 2023 to 36 operators this year. I will now hand over to my colleague Jordan, who will talk about consumer premises equipment and 5G RedCap.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Vaishali. So from the data collected on the fastest download speeds quoted by operators for fixed wireless access services, it is evident and perhaps unsurprising that 5G fixed wireless access delivers significantly greater speeds compared to LTE-based fixed wireless solutions. And this year, the maximum speeds promoted for 5G services varied widely, ranging from 20 megabits per second to a very impressive 5.4 gigabits per second. Whereas in contrast, LTE services offered speeds from 1 megabit per second to a maximum of 2.5 gigabits per second. So these faster 5G speeds not only make fixed wireless more competitive with traditional fixed broadband, but in many cases rival high-end fiber services. This capability is particularly transformative in regions with limited wired infrastructure, allowing operators to provide high-speed connectivity without the need for extensive fibre rollouts. And additionally, innovative use cases for 5G fixed wireless access are emerging in areas like smart cities, industrial IoT, and even remote healthcare, where low latency and high throughput are critical. And this evolution is driving both operator investment and customer adoption at an unprecedented pace. So now let's examine the current landscape of operator CPE or customer premises equipment devices for LTE and 5G networks. And over the past year, we've seen subtle but meaningful shifts in the types of CPE devices operators are offering. For LTE, the number of operators providing indoor-only CPE has slightly decreased, dropping by 0.6% since November 2023. Conversely, outdoor-only CPE for LTE networks saw modest growth of just 3.3%, while operators offering both indoor and outdoor options increased by 1.4%. So when it comes to 5G, the growth trajectory is much more pronounced. The number of operators offering indoor-only 5G CPE devices has risen from 78 to 93, reflecting a 19% increase. Similarly, outdoor-only 5G CPE offerings grew by 11.1%, highlighting the expanding adoption of 5G as a versatile connectivity solution. And these trends underscore the industry's ongoing commitment to meeting diverse customer needs, whether that be for residential, business, or industrial applications, by broadening the range of CPE solutions available. So shifting our focus to 5G specific customer premises equipment, the market continues to expand with notable advancements in both diversity and availability. And as of November 2024, GSA has identified 318 announced 5G fixed wireless access devices, a 3% increase compared to the previous year. And breaking this down further, 192 of these devices are indoor only, a segment that has grown by 4.3% over the last year. Outdoor only devices have also seen growth, with numbers rising by 2.4%. This expansion reflects growing operator investments in catering to various deployment environments, from homes and offices to more challenging outdoor settings. And interestingly, the vendor ecosystem for 5G CPE has also broadened. By late 2024, 85 vendors had announced 5G fixed wireless access devices, up from 83 in May of this year. And this increasing competition among vendors indicates a healthy, dynamic market that's driving innovation in form factors and performance capabilities. So the trajectory of 5G CPE devices clearly signals a maturing market, with increasing adoption and diverse use cases ensuring continued growth in this space. So next, we will turn our attention to the growing role of 5G RedCap, or reduced capability, devices in fixed wireless access. RedCap offers a streamlined version of 5G, optimized for use cases that don't require the full spectrum of 5G performance, such as IoT, industrial connectivity, and simplified fixed wireless access deployments. The GSA's Fixed Wireless Access Survey results highlight significant interest in the technology, with the majority of respondents, or 63%, stating they plan to introduce 5G RedCap capable devices and products in 2024, with only 37% indicating no current plans. And focusing on devices, 5G RedCap hardware stands out for its cost efficiency and versatility. These devices are designed with simplified specifications, which reduce complexity and power consumption, making them highly suitable for regions where affordability and energy efficiency are priorities. And this also aligns with broader industry trends towards sustainability and expanded broadband access. RedCap devices are likely to play a pivotal role in scaling fixed wireless access deployments by making 5G much more accessible with their ability to support mid-tier performance requirements at lower costs. RedCap devices can help operators target underserved markets and niche use cases effectively, which will serve to further bridge the digital divide. And now finally, looking more closely at 5G RedCap networks globally. And as of the GSA's last update in April 2024, 17 operators in 13 countries had been identified as investing in RedCap technology, indicating that RedCap is still very much in its nascent stage. And when we look even closer at the status of these investments, it further underscores that 5G RedCap is still at an early stage of its development. And as of April, only 4 operators had so far launched RedCap. These operators being STC in Kuwait and the 3 major Chinese operators, China Unicom, China Mobile and China Telecom. However, it's worth noting that since then and over the course of the rest of 2024, T-Mobile US and DITO in the Philippines are also known to have launched services, with our next update due in February 2025 to outline this. So currently, the majority of investments are in the evaluating and testing stage, with 10 operators in as many countries testing RedCap technology, such as Telstra in Australia, STC in Bahrain, and Telefonica in Germany. Other countries, such as Singapore, the United Arab Emirates, the UK, US, Saudi Arabia, and Thailand, are also seeing further trials. So for RedCap, it is not just the operators encouraging investment in the technology. RedCap equipment vendors are, of course, forging partnerships to boost its uptake globally and are striving to capture the market as deployments and trials ramp up in the coming months and years. Nokia, Ericsson, Huawei, and other vendors have all partnered with major operators globally, such as BT or EE in the UK, Verizon in the US, STC in Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, and Turkcell in Turkey. And in at least the medium to long term, the GSA expects to see increased investment and launches of 5G RedCap networks, with some launches likely to take place over the course of 2025. And as I mentioned, the GSA will be covering that in a new RedCap report in February. But that brings us to the end of the research team's analysis. So I will hand over to John Yasley for the next section of the plenary.
Thank you, and hi everyone. My name is John Yasley. I'm the vice chair of the GSA Fixed Wireless Access Forum. And as you know, one of the key objectives of the forum is really to educate the market and bring different perspectives. So for this session today, we're thrilled to have 2 speakers sharing different perspectives. We will have 2 presentations and then we'll follow by Q&A. So please add questions on the chat. But on the speakers, we are very glad to have Vincent Zhu, which is the Network Planning Senior Advisor and Technology Strategy and Innovation Lead at DITO Philippines. And then that presentation will be followed by Peter Prinsloo, New Markets and Special Projects Manager at Pointing. So with that, let me hand over to Vincent to share his insights. Thank you.
Thank you, John. Yeah, hi everyone. My name is Hongzhou. I'm at DITO Telecommunication. So I'm excited to be here today to talk about the RedCap FWA, which is the digital divide in Philippines. So thank you for your time. Let's dive in. So as the third telecom operator in the Philippines, DITO was established in 2019. Since its commercial launch in 2021, DITO captured about 9.6% market share with an average annual growth rate of 38%. So subscribers have grown to 13 million right now. So DITO's market presence has significantly contributed to the development of the telecommunication in Philippines. Compared to our 4 years ago, mobile low speed in the country, CAGR growth is about 29%, while the cost per unit of the data, CAGR, is minus 17%. So now DITO is covering 86% of the population coverage and about 94 million population. So here we did some local market insight, including the demand side and the supply side. Let's say from the demand side, Philippine users have a high demand for the internet access. Based on the third-party reports, the daily spending time on using social media is the top one of the world, and the daily time spent with media is much higher than the average. The Philippines has a large space for FWA user development. According to the research, the FWA user reached almost 10 million in the pandemic, and now it reduced to 7 million. The Philippine family internet access needs are not met. From the supply side, fiber can meet the need of the most Philippine family internet access because of the high price. Until now, Philippine fiber penetration rate is about only 27%. Traditional FWA is developing slowly as well. Regular 5G CPE price is too high, and 4G CPE experience is low due to the 4G network congestion. As the inside conclusion, the market urgently needs the new technology solution to meet Philippines' internet access need. This is the new technology should unleash the existing network capability and provide low cost and good experience. This is the win-win business mode between the operator and the customer. Therefore, we think RedCap is the most suitable technology for the Philippine market. DITO as a new operator of Philippines, how can we adopt the new technology for leveraging the development of the new FWA? So first, DITO is the third mobile network operator in Philippines. It was put into commercial use in May 2021. Right now, DITO has the market share of about 12%. So DITO FWA started to be developed since 2022. Until now, FWA has more than 100,000 users. So we can say DITO is the tracer position in Philippine operator market. So secondly, NCR is the capital region of the Philippines with a good 5G coverage and rapid 5G traffic growth. Thanks to the DITO's large bandwidth advantage, according to the third-party benchmark result, DITO 5G is leading in the both downlink and uplink rates. And due to the advanced architecture of 5G SA standalone, the RedCap feature can be quickly upgraded to support the large-scale FWA user development. And please allow me to share the belief of the RedCap technology here. So RedCap reduced capability is decided to enable the cost efficiency and energy-friendly connectivity for devices that do not require high data rates. It's suitable for the industrial, wearable, surveillance, and cost-efficient FWA scenarios. Compared with the conventional 5G FWA, the RedCap technology greatly lowers CPE costs by reducing usage and configuration. The performance is still more competitive than the 4G Cat4. The downlink peak rate can reach about 140 plus Mbps. After DITO large-scale commercial user, the average user experience is about 40 to 60 Mbps, which can fully meet the majority requirements of the FWA application scenarios. And as the GSA statistics, RedCap ecosystem continue to flourish from the number of the shipments, commercial terminals, and module price. It's believed that with the large-scale commercial use of the RedCap, more and more terminals will support RedCap. New technology often face the significant uncertainties during the commercialization process. So to accelerate the commercial use of the RedCap FWA and fully verify the feasibility of the RedCap FWA, DITO has conducted 3 verification phases. So the first phase, selecting the pilot site to verify the deployment of the RedCap FWA based on the DITO SA network. In addition, the downlink pitch speed of the RedCap can reach 140 Mbps has been verified. So second phase, we select the pilot area for verifying the large-scale testing. The third phase and the last phase, after the RedCap FWA is deployed on the entire network, we conduct the experience test to ensure the technology can meet the requirement of the large-scale commercial use. The DITO has deployed the latest RedCap version together with Renter. Here are the 3 major features. The first, the 1T2R SRS antenna selection technology enables users to select the optimal antenna ports based on their locations and radio signal conditions, improving user experience by 10 to 20%. The RedCap MU pairing technology supports MU pairing between RedCap UEs and hybrid pairing between eMBB and the RedCap UEs. Special multiplexing of the network resource improves the network capacity by more than 10%. And last, during the live network test, the downlink throughput of user increased by more than 20% after new version has been deployed. For keeping achieving the higher user experience, DITO is cooperating with vendor to further improve the network performance. A frequent domain reshaping improves the scheduling efficiency of the RedCap UEs and improves the RedCap user experience. The second we have considered is the special domain reshaping, improve the pairing radio. And the last, we optimize the power distribution and use to improve the demodulation capability. So the FWA B series development process is shown here. Following user, the first step is user identification, and then we do the product design, marketing, and sales. And just highlight some key points here. So use multi-dimensional map or data input to locate potential users, targeting an experience-sensitive, low-speed FBB user, and the high potential data demand by area. In the product design, DITO offering the multi-products to meet the different needs. RedCap focus on the enough speed and cost-sensitive user. 5G regular FWA target at the medium and high-end user. This is the last page. Since RC FWA is still new to the market, we will coordinate with all industry players to accelerate the eco-prosperity. So the first telco operators should consider to add more VAS, value-added services, to FWA service to improve user loyalty and the upsell. Also care more on the user experience to reduce the churn rate. The second, the vendors should keep the technology innovation to ensure RC. So I finished my presentation. I want to thank you all of your time and attention. Let's back to the lecture and the John. Thank you.
Thank you, Vincent. Really insightful presentation with a lot of very good insights. And I can see a lot of questions in the chat. We'll take the questions later. But before we go there, then let's hand over to Peter to make his presentation on pointing. Please take it away, Peter.
Thank you, John. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you very much for the opportunity to present to you the role that pointing plays in terms of the 4G, 5G fixed wireless access. So let me just jump into a little bit of housekeeping. I'll just touch quickly on the history of 4G, 5G. How did we get here? I'm going to talk about coverage, connectivity, and MIMO, and also why our antennas matter in 4G, 5G. I'll talk about implementing MIMO and then partnering with router manufacturers. One of the things that we say is that an excellent router company working with an excellent antenna company can result in more than excellent connectivity. Right, so a little bit of history about pointing. Pointing was started in 1996. Sorry for the dropout there on the 6th. It was started by André Fourie, who was at that time a professor at the University of Witwatersrand, or WITS as we call it. And ever since, André has been very instrumental in the development of pointing antennas. He currently is our group CEO. As you can see, I'm not going to go through all of the milestones that we've achieved, but important to know is that in 2015 we established a presence in Europe. We have an office in Munich, and then in 2021 we established an office in Dallas in the USA. 2022 saw a rebrand of our company, of our division. And then in this year, we formed what we call the OEM group, and I'll talk a little bit about the OEM group. Just talking about the marketplace, here you can see all the verticals that we currently service, and fixed wireless access is by no means neglected in this market. If you look at this, at these markets, we've now, in this year only, I was talking to our financial department earlier, in 2024, we sold more than 200,000 antennas worldwide in these different markets. And as I've said, fixed wireless access that you can see over here is certainly a big part of that. So just looking at the history, and we actually all know the history, from the 60s to the 90s, saw the early developments of communication. And then, as we know, in the 2000s, we saw the 3G and early 4G technologies being developed. And then if we look at where we are right now from the 2010s, small cells, beamforming, and beam steering, which incidentally our group CEO André talks about on our website. And then if you look at the 2020s, we're looking at beamforming, spatial multiplexing, MIMO, and massive MIMO technology to maximize the delivery of fixed wireless access from the mobile operators, so to speak, to the CPEs. And there you can see the address of our website. And I invite you to go and have a look at our website. There are some interesting case studies and also some videos that André and our group has prepared. Being different is what we're all about. What can you expect from pointing? First of all, control patterns in all bands, the performance guarantee, and I'm going to talk a little bit about how we get there. We believe that we are innovative and we measure our specifications. So what you see on the specification sheet is what we measured. So you have confidence in the results that you're going to achieve. Then we are also all about quality, so that you know that you're making a reliable investment. And then we practically test it in all environments in the worldwide market. So this is just a picture of our anechoic chamber based out here in Johannesburg in South Africa. So not only do we use simulation to design our antennas, once the design has gone through simulation, we actually test it in our anechoic chamber to make sure that the results from the simulation is actually achievable in real life. Talking about real life, we often see that antenna manufacturers will quote 6 dBi in this case as the performance of an omnidirectional antenna. Here we have, of course, have an omnidirectional antenna depicted, and of course that picture of the 6 dBi is a little bit overstated. The point we want to make is that an omnidirectional antenna really does need to be omnidirectional. And even though in this case it only shows a 3 dBi gain, it is a true omnidirectional antenna. And that of course ensures that you can get signal from all round, which obviously is the objective of an omnidirectional antenna. So we also published the results from the anechoic chamber. Here is one of our antennas, and we currently manufacture a large portion of antennas. This particular one is an omnidirectional antenna, and you can see the frequency response on that. And we continuously strive to make sure that we stay in touch with the market in terms of the frequency response of our antennas. So let me take you through a few practical examples. So here you see the mobile network operator transmitting to a CPE device. Over there you can see the vertical signal. Let me change over. So of course from the tower we've got a vertically polarized antenna, but very often we find that the signal goes through polarity changes, and that's where our cross-polarized antennas have really been showing their mettle. On the left-hand side, you can see one of our antennas known as the XPOL2, and that is the element inside that is a cross-polarized antenna, and on the right-hand side, you can see how it actually receives the signal. A practical test, this is what we call the E.2, and there you can see a router that's placed inside the unit with very short cables. In other words, this particular antenna of ours has a cavity at the back where the router can be installed, and that obviously minimizes the losses on the cable between the router and the antenna. So let's look at a bit of some results. This results was here from my lab here. Now we need to recognize the fact that we only currently have 4G in this part of South Africa. So the objective of this was to test an inside antenna versus an outside antenna. What I did here was that I had a similar router inside the office here, and I had the unit that you saw upstairs. And I was doing a test at the same time. So on the right-hand side to the bottom, you can actually see the results, the download on the left-hand graph, and you can see that on average we were doing about 108 to 107% odd. Of course, this is a true test all at the same time, 6 time slots in the day. So time slot number 4, as you can see on the download, we had probably some congestion on the eNode B, and but on the right-hand side, you can see how typically the upload speed was achieving up to 200% of upload using the external antenna. So looking at spatial diversity and dual polarization, of course, a lot can be achieved using a spatial diversity. Here you can see 2 cross-polarized antennas in a spatial diversity. And if you look at the actual unit itself, we have plus 45, minus 45 cross-polarized in each one of these antennas. And then what we realized is it would be a lot better if we combined these in a single unit. And we also got very good results from using 4 different polarizations. And as you can see over there, we have vertical, horizontal, plus 45 and minus 45 polarized antennas in this particular antenna, known as the XPOL24. And on the left-hand side, you can see the elements, which are patented elements, by the way, that produces the vertical, horizontal, the plus 45 and minus 45 receiving antennas. So looking at using an antenna like the one that you see on the left-hand side, we also realized that what we need to do is provide the market with a product, and this is our next offering, where we are able to provide these antennas in cooperation with router manufacturers, with CPE manufacturers, to build an antenna for you, where we will design the antenna in such a way that your logo can be present on the antenna, as you can see over there. Testing this particular unit, the XPOL 24 that I showed previously. There you can see the orange part of the graph obviously shows the improvement that we had, the internal antennas versus out antennas. The three different tests were all conducted at the same time, with both the indoor antenna and the outdoor antenna communicating at the same time. This is a test that was run by one of the engineers from a company called Cradlepoint, and what you see displayed on screen at the moment is the results from a competitive antenna to our antenna, the XPOL 24 that you see on the right hand side. And then when I open up the results from our antenna, you'll see that as far as RSRP, RSRQ, signal to interference and noise ratio, and there's the RSSI as far as 4G is concerned, you can see considerable improvement in the signal. And similarly, on the 5G signal, you can see quite a significant improvement on the graph that was achieved with our antenna. So this is not the only antennas that we make, where we actually put the antenna inside the unit. This unit is known as the swirl, and although it is intended to be a mobile antenna, we also have applications that's been that has currently been thrown our way to actually make use of this antenna in a fixed wireless access environment. Talking about the use of the unit inside a device, over here you can see a device where we have the antenna cables going up to, in this case, the XPOL 24. What we are currently designing is a unit where we actually place the router inside the unit to minimize the cable losses. There you see a depiction of this unit. What this unit will look like is currently in the design phase. It comes apart. There you can see the antenna part. The back actually opens up, and the router will go in the back, close it up. And there we have an antenna with 4 polarizations, and the router mounted in the back to minimize the cable losses. This, of course, is one of the antennas that we are positioning to be an antenna that we can offer as an OEM product to manufacturers of routers and CPEs. There was a question previously about what to do about omnidirectionality using directional antennas. This particular antenna is mainly aimed at the marine market, but we've just recently been asked to look at the deployment of this particular one in Europe for an event where multiple fixed wireless access or mobile network operators were located around the event. So this would be a stationary device, in other words, a fixed wireless, and it would provide connectivity to multiple towers from around the event, and then, of course, provide Wi-Fi to the event. In this case, a racing event. Just looking at this particular antenna, this was tested down here as a mobile device. Just to give you an idea, there's 6 routers that goes in the back of this unit, and when we were testing this on a marine vessel, the aggregate throughput that we got was, as you can see, 70 kilometers off the coast. We were achieving 129 megabits per second aggregate throughput from these devices. And I must add that at the time when we were doing this test, as you can see, this was done in 2022, the only mobile network operators that were operating in that area of South Africa were 4G operators. So this was the results of 4G towers. So with that, I conclude my presentation, and I thank the GSA for this opportunity.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. Okay, so now we go to the Q&A part of the session. We have received a lot of questions, still some coming. So let me start with a question for Vincent. So maybe Vincent, if you put back your video and unmute, so you prepare to get the question. So Vincent, let me see if you are ready for a question. Do you hear me? Yes, excellent.
Yes, sorry. Yeah.
So Vincent, one question that we got for you is regarding the RedCap coverage. Could you just clarify a bit if you're using indoor or outdoor devices? And how do you manage the coverage for RedCap fixed wireless devices using, I believe, TDD band? If you can give some insight on that.
Okay, got it. So let me answer it. The first thing is as the digital deployment is better, digital deploy the 5G with the large bandwidth. So we are confident of the indoor coverage. So it's supported by our wide bandwidth. So also during the planning and the solution, we also consider the indoor penetration. And so it's not any problem for the indoor coverage covered by our 5G, digital 5G level. And for the FWA solution, is that on TDD or perspective on FDD? So as we know, the 5G, the popular, the mainstream deployment, currently we are using TDD. Thanks for their large bandwidth. So for digital sync, we'll use the TDD M77 and M78 as our 5G coverage layer. And in the future, we also consider if possible to refine from our 4G FDD spectrum to the 5G. When the 5G terminal penetration increased to the good level, so we can consider and deploy it in the future. So hope my answer is good for you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you for the clarifications. Then let me get back to Peter on a question here. I'll get back to you on another question soon, Vincent. So Peter, for you, regarding the pointing solutions, can you explain a bit on how you see these solutions being used by the customer? Is this more for rural deployments? Is it more for consumer or enterprise? Is it more for 4G or 5G? Can you give us some color on that?
Yes, certainly, John. Thank you. The antennas that we manufacture are both for long range as well as urban, in other words, for rural. The directional antennas we make are deployed mostly in rural areas where the mobile network operators node B is very far from the residents or the building. Mining industries have been using this to create fixed wireless access. And then in the urban environment, definitely omnidirectional antennas are used especially in Europe. We see this, and it's both 4G and 5G. 5G, of course, as you know, is emerging. And one of the things that we really do, because we specialize in antennas, is to look very closely at the movement in the market. So, for instance, the frequency bands that are currently being rolled out, we test our antennas for all the frequency bands, so all the way from band 71 to 617, all the way to sub 6 and post 6 to 7 gig. we have antennas that will cover those frequency bands.
Excellent. Thank you, Peter. So let me get one question here to Vincent regarding the RedCap capacity and let's say spectral efficiency. How do you see that? And when you think about the fixed wireless portfolio you have with 4G, 5G regular, and 5G RedCap, can you give us some thinking around the capacity and spectral efficiency?
Okay, fine. So let's say about the spectrum efficiency. So we try to unleash our limited spectrum, frequency band. So we do a lot of things about it. So since from the beginning, solution selection and the optimization, just want to guarantee and assure the quality of our coverage signal. So regarding the RedCap capacity consideration, and then as low for our digital 5G network, our network is supporting the 5G eMBB user and the 5G premium regular user and the 5G regular user. So we want to balance or optimize each user's as the goods balance. We have deployed the QoS management. So it means that we can do some radio resource balancing and management to fully leverage our 5G network resources for them. Right? I hope my answer is quite good for you.
Yes, thank you, Vincent. Thanks for the clarification. Then let's round up with one final question to Peter here. So Peter, if you could explain a bit on your solution compared to the other type of 5G fixed wireless that is already with an outdoor solution. Can you give us some insights or comparison on that?
Yes, certainly. Yes, what we have found is that whilst there are very, very good solutions out there with outdoor solutions, I think we've demonstrated that to really get a good signal, an outdoor antenna element is the way to go. But what we have seen is that that in a lot of cases there are not enough, let's call it, emphasis on things like radiation patterns, for instance, and things, for instance, like signal and signal to noise and signal to interference and noise. So we are very we really do understand what some of the challenges are with external interference. And if you think, for instance, of a directional antenna, if as the name suggests, if it's a directional antenna, it must not be able to accept signals from, for instance, the back or the side. And often we find that interference is one of the big culprits that interferes with the ability of the 4G or 5G router to do a good upload and download due to the number of errors, of course, that's introduced by signal interference. And it can be mitigated by a good antenna, not allowing interference to interfere, so to speak, with the main signal and the main purpose of the device to communicate effectively with the eNode B that it's aimed at.
Excellent. Thanks, Peter. So with these answers, I'd like to thank both Vincent and Peter for joining us today and sharing their experience and insights. Really useful and really good to have you today. So thank you both.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So let me just conclude shortly on this webinar today. I think it's clear that you heard from both the recent speakers, but also in the beginning, we see fixed wireless really having a strong ecosystem, and fixed wireless is really scaling globally. There is a large need for fast and reliable broadband, and consumers are really looking for different solutions. We see in the market that consumers see fixed wireless performance or net promoter scores on par with fiber. And you saw a lot of operators launching 5G fixed wireless. It's a very popular 5G use case driving monetization. I also hope you notice that there is a strong ecosystem behind the 3GPP global ecosystem, bringing a lot of scale and innovation. And you show some examples of different variants of fixed wireless addressing different market opportunities, as you saw today with Dito explaining their 5G RedCap. So the digital divide is a big opportunity for operators to address using a combination of fixed wireless and fiber. So with that, again, we continue working on the GSA Fixed Wireless Access Forum, bringing the ecosystem together, tracking the fixed wireless developing, promoting different type of products and solutions to address the market, and really bringing insights for the market. And again, this is an open forum, so for companies interested, please contact us at the GSA. So with that, I conclude, and I just send back to Richard to close.
Great, thank you, John, and thank you to all our speakers and you for attending today. On it, you can see a link to all the most recent GSA resources, which you can download from the GSA website and also from the Fixed Wireless Access Forums page, which you'll find on the screen here in the initiatives section, along with other working groups. Please do follow GSA and the forum on social media. You can find us on X, on LinkedIn, and on YouTube. And as John said, if you have any questions about the work of GSA or of the forum and you'd like your organization to get involved, then please do get in touch. As a GSA member and GSA associate, you get access to all the GAMBoD databases. Every employee within your organization gets unlimited access. So please do get in touch if that is something you would be interested in exploring. And with that, I'll just say thank you again to all our speakers. Thank you for attending, and we hope to see you at the GSA event in the new year. Many thanks.